Welcome to the 161st episode of the Video Games podcast, where we talk about any game at all, including new stuff, old stuff, and anything in between. If we are playing it, we will be talking about it. Today, we are recording on January 11th, 2020. Still sounds weird when I say that. My name is Brad Galloway. I am the editor of GameCritics.com, and I am 50% of this here show. With me is co-host and the guy who's redefining chicken pot pie, Carlos Rodella.
Hey, how you doing? Chicken pot pie. Yes, it is great. I love them. And just by saying the word chicken pot pie, it makes me want a chicken pot pie.
I always want a chicken pot pie.
It's got a great name, and I decided to redesign it. And you know what? I think they're better. You add a little bit of garlic. Oh, wait, I can't give you the recipe.
Because it's a secret, right?
Because it's a secret, I'm selling it. Let's just say I've redesigned the pot pie to be the best pot pie there is. And look for our website with that soon.
We're going to put it behind a paywall if anybody wants to contribute, you know.
Oh, yeah, it's a Patreon only.
Patreon only. Carlos's chicken pot pie recipe. Hello, folks. Hello. Welcome back to the Video Games podcast. This week is our promised Games of the Decade episode. I know we were teasing it for a while. We finally got around to it. Just to be clear, these are games that we had a great time with and would recommend to others, or otherwise we thought they were noteworthy somehow. This is not going to be one of those most important games of the decade or most influential or anything. I mean, those are great games to talk about. You'll see a lot of the same games pop up, but that's a kind of different sort of list, and I don't think that we're going to do that today. We don't want to deal with the kind of email that we would get if we did one of those kind of lists. So this is just games that are like important to me, games that are important to Carlos, games that we liked. It's got to be just real kind of easygoing and laid back, like this podcast in general. Also, we have a clip at the end of the show with a very special guest who will be talking about the DLC, I think it's called Breaking Ground, for Kerbal Space Program. We also have your responses to our question from last week, which was, what were the games that got you through the holidays? A lot of responses on that one. Thank you, everybody, for contributing. So we will get to all this. We've got a truckload of content for you. Before we get started, Carlos, I believe you had a little bit of housekeeping today.
Yeah, so I went back to play Rise of the Tomb Raider, and we had been talking about Tomb Raider, I think, on the show at some point, and I'd forgotten if I had actually beat the game. And it was weird because I think I deleted all my saves, even my cloud saves recently, to kind of clean up space or something. So I had the DLC downloaded on Rise of the Tomb Raider, which when you have DLC loaded on a game, it's usually because you've beat it, right? And you're like, you want to play more stuff. So I was like, oh, that's interesting. But then the save that I had was the game wasn't beat. So I was confused. And there was no way for me to find out if I beat the game because my online save was gone. So my question to you, audience listening, is there a game that you went back to and you don't remember you beat or not? Or alternately, is there a game that you went back to and you know you didn't beat it, but it just, like, you have no idea what's going on in the story? That's happened to you, right, Brad?
That happens to me like on a weekly basis, dude.
Nice. You're like, you forget that we record a podcast.
I can't even answer that question because my answer would be like the next 9 months in a row. Like,
Okay.
They got too many responses.
Games are so huge, right? And so many, especially in RPG, but even like these action adventure games are epic. So many things happen. And Uncharted, right? It's like, what tower or temple was he in? Who were the bad guys again? So I was just lost. So, by the way, the answer to that Rise of the Tomb Raider is I had not beaten it. So I went back and beat it, and I just started Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which they're both great games if you've played them.
It's interesting that you bring this up, dude. I'll touch on this briefly. We don't have to like really get into this. We can save this for next week. But for me, it's like if I like a game, I try to finish it because I know that if I stop halfway through, there's a very high chance that I'm going to immediately forget what I'm doing, and then I will never finish it, and I don't like to replay games, so I will not go back to the start unless I love it. So if I like something, I will try to finish it when I'm playing it. The problem for me is that with the review load that we do for this podcast and also at Game Critics, sometimes I just don't have the time, and I have to like play something really quickly and then just move on. And so if I like it and come back to it at some point, those are the games where I'm like, oh shit, how far did I get in this? What was happening? I wanted to come back to this and I forgot, and I meant to, and so it doesn't happen to me that often, I guess, when it's something that I genuinely like that I'm playing for my own personal enjoyment, but it happens a ton when I'm doing something that's like review related or game critics related or podcast related.
Right.
So,
Yeah, and also from the topic from last week, the reason why I stopped Rise of the Tomb Raider is because I just wasn't in the mood for that game at the moment, right?
Yeah,
Like, or maybe
yeah.
I really needed an RPG. And so, yes, I loved the game, but it just wasn't for me at that moment. And then I literally forgot because, like you said, we have all the games for this podcast, and in general, I play every game. So, anyways, I just forgot. So, listen, audience, listeners, does this happen to you? Has it happened to you where you forgot if you A, beat the game and couldn't remember, or B, just went back to a game and totally forgot what was happening? Give us your examples and what games, and yeah, let us know.
We'll read them off on the next episode. And in case you do want to send us in a response to that question, you can hit us up on Twitter, of course, but also you can hit us up via email. It's sovideogamespodcast@gmail.com, same as it ever was. And we have a ton of content for you, so I say let's just launch into it. Carlos, you ready?
Yeah, I'm afraid of this list. It is massive.
It's a crazy list. So Carlos and I are each coming up with our favorite games of the last 10 years. I have a pretty trim list. How I came to my list was I basically looked back at my Game of the Year list because, I've been writing for game critics for like 20 years. And most of those years, I did a top 10 of the year. So I just went back to the archives and I'm like, well, what was my top game of whatever, X, Y, Z year? And I cherry picked all the top ones, which was great because honestly, I had a hard time remembering. I mean, I've played so many games over so many years and it's really tough to keep them straight. So it was a great reminder for me. If you want to read more about these games, all of my top 10s are at Game Critics. You can go in the archive and check those out. So I have a pretty tight list of 10 games that, for me, every one that I've chosen was my actual game of the year of that year.
Dude,
How did you get to...
Yeah, that was so much easier than what I had to do.
I was just going to ask, what was your process, Carlos? How did you go about doing this?
I originally started going through just like all games released each year, and I was like, well, I can't do this.
Oh my god, that's like a million games, dude.
I know, I got problems, and also I played so many of them. So I just went to the top level games. Like there's, if you just Google like 2011 video games,
yeah, totally.
The top of the list of results will be like kind of the heavy hitters,
Totally.
and not just AA. They put indie games in there, but so I went off of that because there are so many games, and basically just whittled it down to a few. So I failed, basically, is what I'm saying. Like, I did not do the right job, which is like having one per year. So I have one per year, but I also have many after that, and I'll just really quickly give you a little bit of rundown of some of the other ones. Because people listening to the show, I think you might want to go back and play some of these games, because a lot of them are still incredible. I think all of them are still incredible. And if you haven't played them, it's not just the one that I picked for the year. There's a few others, so...
I mean, I wouldn't say you failed at all. I think you just extra succeeded. I mean, if you're giving people all these options, here's somebody who's played a million games, who knows a lot about games, who's been in the ecosystem, and you're handpicking all these wonderful titles for people to play. I mean, I think that's mega success, dude.
Brad Galloway, I like the way you think.
All right, buddy, let's get to it. Why don't you go first? Give us a taste of what you came up with. The first year on my list is 2010. Is that how you have your games ordered?
Yep, 2010. Let's do it.
All right, 2010. Go for it.
So I'm picking. I'm still doing it in real time.
You are doing it in real time. What is okay? So tell us.
Here's the top two.
Okay, top two. Go for it.
Alan Wake.
Okay.
And Limbo. And
oh man, okay.
Before we get into the full list, I'll say this one other caveat is that, like you said at the top, these are definitely not in quotes the best games or whatever. Maybe they are, but they're definitely games for me.
To us, they are.
Yeah, for me, I also picked the ones that kind of made the most impression, right? So I was I had never seen a game like Alan Wake before. What is happening? There's a television show in the game. It feels like Twin Peaks. What is happening? And so that's you'll see that kind of repeated on this list. Games that have really kind of just shocked me in some way.
Which is totally justified.
Yeah, and also really fun. So Alan Wake.
Tell us really quickly, just capsule. And also, folks, you might want to get a piece of paper and a pen. I mean, we're got to go through a jillion games here. You might want to jot some of these down for future reference.
Yeah, and
I guarantee I'm not going to put them in the show notes.
Yeah, you won't. And also, no one uses pen and paper. Just type.
I mean, type it on your phone, your computer, write it on your wrist, whatever you want.
I guess people do. Alan Wake from Remedy, their breakout hit. I mean, essentially, it's an action-adventure game, third person. You run around the woods fighting spirits. There's a lot of weird dream sequences. I don't want to spoil anything, but it's just like Twin Peaks third-person action-adventure game, usually in the dark, and really
There's a lot of dark in that
a lot
game.
of dark in the game, and a really cool mechanic, like a very satisfying combat mechanic that feels great when you kill an enemy, in quotes.
That was the game where you use a flashlight, right?
Flashlight, yeah. And then it used the vibration really good on the controller, and it just all feels great and is weird. It's a great weird game, and it really stood out to me.
All right, cool. So that was your official pick for 2010, right?
Yeah, I say Limbo's really close behind it because Limbo also did that thing of stark, contrast in black and white, and I think a million games copied them after that. Very beautiful. And then also, here's my cheating part.
Okay.
BioShock 2, because that's great, and it was more BioShock. It was a different developer, but I still liked it. Fable 3, which I think I would still go back to this day and play.
Wow, I haven't thought about Fable in a long time.
I know. There's going to be a new one. I have heard a rumor. A new one's very soon. And New Vegas, but I put New Vegas in there in parentheses because I didn't play it when it came out.
Did it come out in 2010?
That's what it said on my list. It said on my list it did, so I don't know.
Interesting. I know that I waited a year before I played it because I knew it was buggy and I didn't want to play through the bugs, but I really wanted to enjoy that game. So I literally waited like one full year to play it to give them time to patch it.
Yeah, I don't know when I played it, so I put it in parentheses because it is definitely an amazing game, obviously. So.
Oh, absolutely.
So anyways,
right, cool.
That's a long way of saying Alan Wake.
Excellent. Alan Wake, that is a good pick. Interesting that you picked that one because there is definitely a very strong Twin Peaks vibe in Alan Wake. And I played it, I enjoyed it for the most part. But for 2010, my pick also has an extremely strong Twin Peaks connection. In fact, you might even say it is a full-on homage to Twin Peaks, or I don't want to say it's like a spiritual successor, but it kind of is a spiritual successor. It is Deadly Premonition from Swery 65. I love Deadly Premonition. Have you played it, Carlos?
Yeah, I only played a little bit of it, and it's an amazing game, and you're right, it's totally Twin Peaks. And now, this is one of those games where I didn't beat. I should go back.
You should go back. There's a number of versions that have been updated. I don't know if it's any easier to play. I mean, this is the game that famously had a lot of technical problems. There's a lot of rough design. Budget for it is pretty low. So it's not like, I mean, there's a lot of people that love to bash it, and that's totally justified. Like, I get it. If you don't like this game, it's not for everybody. But this is the game where it's an open world, and you play a detective. His name is York Morgan. And he goes around, and so you actually really do like a lot of detecting. Like, you like observe people, you go to places where you think clues are going to be happening, and you like keep your eyes open. You got to put some things together. There's a lot of actual detective work happening, but also you're just in the world. Like, you're just meeting these people. These people are going about their lives. There's all sorts of stuff that you can discover if you go off of the beaten path and just like, you're looking in people's windows and you're like hanging outside of bars at nighttime and you see all sorts of stuff happening. So the way the world comes together is great, but also the thing that I really liked about it is just the profound weirdness of it. It is basically Twin Peaks the game, and if you like Twin Peaks, this is as close as any game is ever going to come. Great story, great characterization. I thought the ending was awesome. I really loved it a lot.
Dude, my friend wrote an article for this game.
Oh, really? Who was it?
I think Haskey did it. Do you know Steve Haskey, right?
Of course, I know
Steve
Haskey.
Didn't he? I think he did a whole like write-up on this.
Yeah, he did a number of write-ups, I believe, and at GameCritics.com, Dan Weissenberger, I believe he wrote more words on Deadly Premonition than anybody on Earth. I think he wrote, I want to say 19 different articles on this game alone, and one of them I think was like 10,000 words long.
Holy crap.
So, and following this up, I've actually met Swery65 a couple of times. He's a super nice guy. I've actually hugged him. He's a good guy. And it's funny you bring up Steve Haskey because Steve and I had a very exclusive interview with Swery65 one time, and we had a very famous translator who was sitting and working with us, and we hung out in a hotel for a little while. So Steve is a great guy. Steve, what up? If you're listening, I know you're not, but if you are, hey. And I think that this game has a very special place in our hearts, for sure.
Cool, great pick. Yeah, and I'm going to try to find out how I can play that because I don't know what's available on.
I think it's available. I think it's on Switch. You can get it on PS4.
Oh, really?
You can get it on Xbox 360, or not 360. Jesus, dating myself. Xbox One.
Nice.
I think the 360 version is backwards compatible, though. But there's been a number of updated versions. I would say, and this is just a side note for anybody listening, there's a new version which has like an epilogue and a prologue added to it. Not a fan of that version. I prefer the OG version. I don't know if you can get the OG version or maybe just skip the epilogue and prologue, but Anyway,
Okay.
it's still a good game. Still worth playing. Deadly Premonition, my 2010 pick. Carlos, what is your top game for 2011?
2011 is very easy. It's Skyrim.
Skyrim. Oh man,
Done.
Skyrim.
Done. There's like no discussion. None.
Well, give us a little discussion, just on the off chance. I know that everybody on Earth has 9 copies of this game on every system.
Babies are born and given a copy of Skyrim. Everybody knows.
Right after they get spanked, they start breathing. The doctor hands them Skyrim.
Yeah, okay, he can breathe. Put a Skyrim in his mouth. Have him suck on that. No, Skyrim is the RPG from Bethesda that, I think helped change the game when it comes to first-person RPGs. There definitely been them before and after, but just the open-endedness of that world and the beautiful kind of chaos that it created. You went to a town and a dragon was attacking the town, and you're like, wait, is this scripted or not? And most of the time it wasn't. And you like see the townsfolk like shooting little pathetic arrows at the dragon. You're like, well, I better help these guys out. And, that's just one thing that can occur naturally because they put a bunch of NPCs and AI and enemies in the world and had them interact. And that was my favorite part of the game. It wasn't necessarily the story or, the graphics, because they were good, especially for the time. We were like, whoa, that's really great. But for me, it was more of this kind of like weird living, breathing world that I could inhabit. And I inhabited, did I ever, probably 300 hours.
I was going to say at least a couple hundred hours.
Yeah,
right?
easy. So that was my world. So that's my pick. Anybody who doesn't know it or hasn't played it, I mean, younger people might not have. Pick it up on the Switch because it's on that now, and you will love it. It's
it's hard to imagine a world where somebody doesn't know what Skyrim is because it's being streamed all the time. I think it is. I think it even holds a couple world's records for like the most modded game. I think is one of them. And,
yeah, that Randy the Macho Man Savage. Have you seen that one?
I have seen that one where they replaced all the dragons with Randy Macho Man Savage. They replaced the dragons with Thomas the Tank Engine.
Yeah.
They've replaced him with a number of things. I think it is the world's most modded game, and I think that's what really gives it its legs. But yeah, I mean, I think, God, everybody's played Skyrim, I think. So, good pick.
Well, I have runners up. Hold on.
Runners up.
Each year's going to have this, so I apologize.
I'm looking forward. Tell us what they are.
I failed the system. Portal 2. Come on.
That's a pretty good
very good game.
Pretty good pick.
Yeah, good runner-up. Also, Deus Ex Human Revolution.
Great game.
At that moment, I really wanted that game. It came at the right time, like we talked before. And also, which I think might be your pick, I didn't look at your list, but it might be on your list, Dead Island.
Dead Island is my game of the year for 2011.
Okay, you talk about it, but I also spent so much time in that game, even though it was buggy as shit.
Well, okay, yeah, so here's the deal. Dead Island was the whipping boy for the year that it came out, and rightfully so. It's a first-person, open-world RPG zombie survival game that you also had co-op if you wanted to. You could have up to 4 people playing at the same time. When this game came out, it was really unfortunate because they sent it to reviewers way too early, and the copies that they got were buggy as shit. Like, it was horrible. There were videos of all the bugs. It barely functioned. Like, your inventory would disappear and zombies would appear out of nowhere and just bug. It was awful.
Can we back up for a second, though?
Yeah.
And adding to that, I think the other reason why those bugginess even affected reviewers more is because they put out that trailer. Do you remember?
Yeah, there was a cinematic trailer which actually won a couple awards, and it kind of rocked the industry for a minute because it didn't show the gameplay, but it just showed like a family like. It was like in backwards time.
Backwards
time of a zombie attack on a family in a tropical hotel. It was a stunning trailer. If you haven't seen the trailer, I would encourage you all to go to YouTube and put in Dead Island like cinematic trailer or something like that and find it. So yeah, they built up anticipation quite a bit. I didn't think the game was going to be anything like that because there's no possible way that trailer could have been a game because it was just purely cinematics. But yeah, so between the hype of the trailer and the extreme bugginess of the review copies they sent out, people had their knives out for this game right away, and they were not wrong. Like, playing something like that was not review ready. It got off on the wrong foot, and it got like terrible scores, and it was just awful. But when they finally patched it, which it should have been in the first place, it was a fantastic game. I mean, the open world was wonderful. There was always stuff to do, always interesting things to do, interesting scenarios that you'd come across. Playing with friends was great. You had really great combat, 4 different character types. And just the mood and tone was wonderful. I loved being in that city and just running around and just trying to survive. I mean, I just had the best time with it. And I'm glad that I waited to play it. I was not one of the reviewers that played the buggy version. I'm glad that I played it when it was patched. And it actually went on to great success. Even though it got trashed in reviews, players loved it once it was patched. And that game had a very long life. Also, interesting tidbit, Game Critics was the only website on Earth, I'm pretty sure, that had it in the Game of the Year discussion. And not only was it Game of the Year discussion, it was our site-wide Game of the Year. It was our official pick. We took so much shit for that. People every day sending us emails about what dickheads we were, and people on Twitter constantly like haranguing us. People going out of the way to be rude, which I think ultimately we were proved correct because that game was like a monster success once it got patched. But also, just a little side note, I've talked about this like a couple years ago, but when PR saw that we picked it as our Game of the Year, they couldn't believe it. They were shocked. But they're like, oh my God, this is amazing. We're going to put out a Game of the Year edition now because you, Game Critics, picked it as your Game of the Year. Like, somebody has to pick it as their Game of the Year version for them to call it a Game of the Year version. We were those people, the only people. So they put out a Game of the Year version because we picked it. And there was like going to be this big PR push that was going to be with us. They were going to give away a bunch of prizes. We're going to have a bunch of contests. Everything got really excited. And then PR jumped on social media and they realized like what a mockery people were making of us because we picked it.
Oh.
And they totally got cold feet. So they did put out the Game of the Year version. They took our name off of it. So we didn't get any credit for picking it as Game of the Year. They never publicly announced who it was that chose it, even though everybody in the world knew it was us. So we didn't get any credit for that. And they canceled all the celebration. We didn't get to do the contest, didn't do any prizes.
Jeez,
literally
Louise.
Nothing happened. Yeah, it was fucking weak. It was fucking weak because we took all the heat. We took that hit for those guys so they could put out the Game of the Year version, and then we didn't even get a fucking public thank you. So I was really kind of salty about it.
I had no idea you had so much history in this.
We got history.
But I'm glad you're doubling down for this list and putting it as your 2011 pick.
Still a great fucking game. Still a great game. And people, went on, a lot of the developers went on to make Dying Light.
Oh, that's right.
It's a fantastic game. A Dying Light is basically Dead Island with just like a little bit more polish on it.
You can see Dying Light. Yeah, you can see that.
Absolutely. If you like Dying Light, go back and play Dead Island. It is basically the same thing. So, all right. Moving on. 2012. Carlos, you're up. What is your pick for 2012?
2012, I think I'm going to go... Oh, this one's a little tough. It gets tougher and tougher, which I think, if I look at my lists, there are more and more games. So again, you'll see the level of how much I failed as closer we get to this year. But I think maybe more better games came out, like, recently. I don't know what's going on, but my list definitely increases. So, 2012, I'm going to pick... I'm going to pick Dragon's Dogma.
Ooh, that's a good pick.
Because
that is a good pick.
It's an action-adventure game. It was action-adventure RPG. One of the first RPGs in a while, or maybe even ever, I don't know, that I could jump in, right? Like your character can jump.
Yeah, very action-y third-person action.
Action-y, and when you were fighting like enemies, especially bosses, like a big dragon or something with like a long tail, you could like jump on it. So it had a very great like physicality and physics, right? So like I felt like the things really existed in the world. Now that's not to say
climbing big monsters is the shit, dude.
Climbing the big monsters is the shit, but not to say it was still buggy, right? Like it was buggy as shit. Like a lot of places were just weird, and I have many videos on my YouTube channel of just weird glitches and funny things. But it didn't matter because again, this is 2012, and for the time it was blowing me away. It still holds up. There's like a million remasters or whatever, and
yeah, there's a bunch of versions you can get these days.
So go and find a copy of a Dragon's Dogma. It doesn't matter what kind, really, because I think the developer, don't do the research. Who is it? Do you know?
It's Capcom.
Okay. Capcom developed and published?
I believe so, yeah. You can see a lot of Monster Hunter DNA in this. It's not exactly a Monster Hunter game, but it's like...
Right.
It's like kind of like Monster Hunter, the RPG, sort of.
You're right. It totally is. Yeah. But again, I like it because you don't grind. Like, I mean...
No, there's no grinding, yeah.
There's RPG grinding, but like a limited sense. Anyways, the world they built was great. I remember really enjoying the story. The NPCs you could have with you. The very interesting ghost system, like... there's like
the pawns,
the pawns, yeah, and there was like multiplayer elements where you could send your pawns out into the internet, and pawns being your NPCs, and you could send them out, and they would like do stuff for other people, and then come back
Yeah,
and bring you
yeah.
results of like gold and shit. I don't know.
It was a really interesting experiment with online integration. You know, rather than doing the Souls thing of where people invade and do all that stuff, like you said, like you take your NPC and loan them to other people, they would do stuff and come back. And not only would they bring back the rewards, but one of the coolest things was like if they did a quest with somebody else online that you didn't do, when they came back, they would like tell you about it. Like when you went to do that quest, they'd be like, "Oh, master, use fire," or "Oh, master, go over here. There's a safe place over here." Like they would tell you the info they picked up, which was badass. Dude.
Yeah,
like,
that is badass.
Nobody's ever done that since. It's like amazing.
Never since. Yeah, that's crazy. Okay, so that's my pick. Go look it up. Use the internet. Find it. Get it. It's really great.
Use the internet and find it.
Yeah. That's the most research we do.
So good, so good.
I think the second pick, the second runner-up, and then I have a few more. Dishonored, because
Okay.
it's the year that Dishonored came out. That's hard not to pick that one because I love that fucking game. And then Far Cry 3, Fez, Forza Horizon was such an impression on me because that was the first time a car game felt fun, like outside of like a track. You could just drive anywhere.
Yeah.
Fez, for obvious reason, being indie darling, whatever. But Diablo 3, I think, came out that year, right?
God, was it? I don't know. Maybe.
And on my list, because there's many reiterations, but I think it came out that year. Which again, I didn't play the year it came out, but then went on to play like 300 hours of that game. So literally,
You're big on 300 hours, man.
oh, dude, that's all I do is play games for 300 hours. So but I'm still picking Dragon's Dogma, 2012.
That is a hell of a pick, dude. I'm really glad you picked that because Dragon's Dogma is a goddamn good game. I mean,
Sure is.
And just a little side tangent, the ending to that game is fucking bananas. It's
Oh,
so
yeah.
crazy. It is amazing. And it comes out of left field. I still pick it as like one of the best endings ever because holy shit, you do not see that shit coming at all.
And that's a great reason to go back and play it right now. Everybody listening.
So good. All right, excellent picks. For 2012, there was really only one choice I could pick. We picked this as our site-wide Game Critics Game of the Year. We podcasted about it I think 8 times, and we did like hours and hours of podcast coverage. We did numerous articles on it. It was just, we were all about it this year, and it could be no other game other than The Walking Dead Season 1.
Oh, I forgot about that.
With Lee and Clementine and Kenny and all the rest of the cast in Season 1. Phenomenal game. The voice work. So this is the Telltale adventure game where you play, obviously survivors in a zombie apocalypse. You play as Lee Everett, and he is with Clementine, the little girl, and he's kind of protecting her as they go through 5 episodes of zombie action. Great storytelling, great characterization, so touching. Some of the choices you make in that game are heartbreaking. I mean, that was where that meme of XYZ will remember this popped up because the text popped up every time you made a choice. They would say, "Oh, Lee would remember this," or "Clementine will remember this," and that became a big meme for a while. And just overall, I mean, it still holds up, dude. I think it's one of the best, most touching stories we've gotten. And when you get to the final chapter, I'm not going to spoil anything because if you haven't played The Walking Dead Season 1, I think it's required playing for anybody who likes video games. I feel like everybody should play this game.
And the style holds up, right? Because
it still holds up.
Yeah,
looks
it's
great.
just cartoony.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit cartoony, but it fits with what's going on. And just man, that final episode is a fucking gut punch. It is so good. If you don't shed a tear, man, you are a broken human being. This is a fucking good-ass game. I love The Walking Dead. Still love it. Great stuff.
I think it's a great pick, and also it kind of goes back to the idea of things that games that do something a little different, where that was that choose your own adventure coming back into style.
Absolutely.
Right, and a little bit after that, probably 2 years after that or so, 2 or 3 years, I worked on Lifeline, the game Lifeline.
Yeah, Lifeline was great.
And that was kind of again, return to this choose your own adventure gameplay, which people really started picking up on. And Walking Dead did that great thing where it showed you the endings, like what everybody else picked.
Oh, that was another. Yeah, that was so. I mean, I know we didn't say this was influential games, but Walking Dead was so influential. There was a million copycats. I mean, a lot of them from Telltale themselves, but a lot of people copied the style of the choices, of showing you the ending, showing the percentage of what other people chose when you make your choice. And I mean, this was one thing that was really interesting was when you made choices. They carried those choices all the way through. A lot of the choices were huge because in the very first episode, you could choose between a girl with a gun or a guy that did technology to save. You could only save one of them. And, obviously 95% of people chose the woman with the gun. But you could actually have chosen that first guy and gone the entire next 4 episodes with that guy. Totally different performance, totally different voice capture, totally different like story options. And it was just amazing that they had gone to those lengths to like make sure that everybody's playthrough really did, echo their choices that they made. So I mean,
Yeah.
it was a high watermark in so many ways.
All right, 2013. Let's move on.
2013, you're up, sir.
Man, this is going to go on forever. I think this will be the longest podcast we've ever done. No, 2013, I'm going to have to pick GTA 5.
Ooh, GTA 5. Okay, tell us about it, sir.
Impossible not to pick that one. I've got many runners-up, but...
possible for me, but I'll hear you.
Okay, well, it was, and I think it still is probably the quintessential GTA game, and the fact that it is the most realized open world. I don't know if I can say that. Probably. It's a massive game where it feels like anything you could think about in a GTA or open world game was crammed into this game. And I am a big fan of choice and options and just giving me a weird, crazy sandbox similar to Skyrim, and why I picked that game. This game, yeah, it's got an interesting story. I really didn't pick it Game of the Year for that. I picked it because it created this world that I wanted to exist in. I wanted to do things in. I wanted to... you play as 3 different characters, so it gives you 3 different perspectives of the world in a way. One, they all kind of come from different neighborhoods and have different backgrounds, so you definitely get to see like different parts of the town, which I think is an interesting perspective. And yeah, in general, I didn't remember it for its story. I remembered it for the world it created, and I just loved being in that world. I think, again, 300 hours, probably, give or take.
At least, I'm sure. Right?
At least. But I really did play a poop ton of that game, and most of it, really wasn't the story. It was just kind of seeing what all these systems were and playing around with it. And yeah, they added everything to that. I mean, you could run around on a bicycle, play tennis, buy real estate. Like, it's just nuts how much stuff is in that. And so any game that does that going forward, and I'm still waiting for a couple games coming out in, I think, 2020 or 2021 that are like super realistic open worlds where they feel like here, the present, I'm in. Like, I just want more of that type of stuff. So that's why I picked it.
Before we get off of GTA 5, Carlos, did you ever do any of the online stuff?
Yeah, and I didn't like it because essentially it was just, everybody shooting each other and you die in 2 seconds. And
it's interesting because I did not. I don't do that stuff either. I don't like playing modes where everybody's just ganking each other and all that stuff. So, but it's like still going. Like they're still expanding it. I think GTA 5 has become the most profitable game in history. It's been number 1 on the sales charts for like multiple years in a row in various countries. And the online is like bigger than it's ever been. Constant new updates. And it's been fucking like 7 years. I don't understand. I honestly don't understand. Yeah,
I'll explain it to you.
Yeah.
There's a through line that's going on right now, even on my list and a little bit on yours as well. I think the things that can be really, really successful to a mass audience is options, right? Giving the player choice and options. We already talked about Walking Dead. We talked about Skyrim. Games that kind of had this open-endedness playground. Even Dragon's Dogma, to a lesser extent, made me feel empowered because this world was so huge and I felt like I could do anything in this world. So GTA does that. Minecraft does that. And GTA 5 had a closed game system. And you remember, I just said, I didn't remember it for its game or for its story.
Right.
But for the world that it created. And because it created this world that was so systems playing against other systems and NPCs and, weird AI stuff going on, that is fun when you mix it together with people. And so I think GTA online makes the most sense in the world, minus the everybody just shooting each other. But I think they don't play it for that. They have fun with that, but they have fun for the weird things that happen. If you watch any of the videos on YouTube, it's like someone in a helicopter jumping out of the helicopter, landing into a car, finding like people in the street, jumping over a bus. Just weird shit that could happen in this playground. So I think that's why it's so successful. And yes, it prints money.
It literally prints money. Those guys must be so rich over there. I mean, they are so rich. So.
Oh, my runners up real quick.
Runners up.
BioShock Infinite.
Okay.
Had problems with it, but it's a BioShock game, so it's always going to go on my list. The Tomb Raider reboot came out that year, which I'm a big fan of this new series, so I love that a lot. Super Mario 3D World, Far Cry, Blood Dragon. Check all those out. Just, again, you're writing these down on a piece of paper with a pencil, because that's how people do things. Stanley Parable, though, is my runner-up.
Stanley Parable. Okay, that one I was surprised that one never came to any console. I was kind of waiting for it to hit PS4 or something, and it never came. So I never played it, but I heard
Oh,
nothing but
you
good
never
things about
played
it.
it?
No, I barely ever played it. It's got to be like an amazing game to put for me to play PC, and that did not clear the bar for me. So
Oh, dude. Again, I think it's influential. Yeah, I think it's influential.
I think you're right. I mean, I like I said, I was shocked it never got ported. I could not understand that. So, I mean, that guy went on to do the Beginner's Story. No, what there was another indie game that came out right after that.
Yeah, I forgot it too.
Yeah. And so that one got ported. And I'm like, well, why did you port this one, which was not nearly as influential as successful, but you didn't port the good one? I don't know why they did that. Anyway,
Side note before you go to yours,
Yeah.
I think he's making a second one right now.
Stanley Parable 2?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Went back to the successful one.
Yeah.
All right. 2013, for me, it was The Last of Us. I really liked that game a lot. I liked that game a lot. This was, I mean, again, a story of a man and a girl surviving zombie apocalypse, kind of a little bit close to The Walking Dead, although I think in practice they are wildly different experiences. But again, I'm a sucker for good relationships, and I really like the relationship between lead character Joel and Ellie. They just the two of them had so many human conversations. There were so many vulnerable moments. And I mean, it was a little bit long. There was a little bit too much combat, that kind of thing. But I think in general, the writing is really what sold that game to me. So I really liked that relationship. I think the ending is very interesting too because it splits the community. Some people read it a certain way, some people read it a different way, and depending on which way you fall, it can really mean two very different things. So I think that's a really interesting aspect of it as well. And the DLC for The Last of Us is called Left Behind. One of the best things I've ever played in my life. Did you ever play this game or Left Behind?
I played Last of Us. Left Behind, I think I did play, and I think I did like it quite a bit. I don't enjoy Last of Us. Isn't it Mr. Corey Motley who doesn't like this game?
He super doesn't like this game.
Yeah, so
that was one of the pain points for us. We always disagreed on this.
Let me conjure his energies up right now.
Okay.
And wherever he is, he can hear and feel my connection. I think the game is overrated. I'm not excited about the new one, and it is definitely a weird opinion to have, I think, because most people love that game to death. But I think it's just an okay game. Like, I don't hate it, but I think it's just okay. And I think I remember liking Left Behind more than the original game. So that actually probably goes in line with what you're saying.
I mean, that makes sense because I liked Left Behind more than the original game also. I mean, Left Behind was half the game was just two girls talking about life. And that was fucking amazing.
Oh, that's right. Yes, I did play it. I love it. I really liked that.
Literally just hanging out in a deserted mall, talking about life, shooting the shit. And that was phenomenal. Like, it was so good. I know that people haven't played it are like, what? Two girls talking? What is that, a DLC? It is a DLC. It's an amazing DLC. It's like one of the best DLCs that's ever been. So, yeah, the game does have problems, but I really liked it. And I think the human moments in it were what sold it for me. So I like it a lot. I don't know that I'm necessarily hyped for number 2 because those trailers seem excessively brutal. And I didn't come to this game for the brutality. I came to it for the human moments. And I'm a little bit concerned that maybe they went in the wrong direction.
Right.
If it was we'll see what happens.
If it was more like Left Behind, I would be interested too, But all the trailers show like, and now we decapitated that person. Oh, look at this intense moment.
I'm not. Yeah, that's to me. That's not the appeal. So we'll see what happens. 2014, Carlos. What's your pick for 2014?
This is fucking tough. This is tough, dude. This hurts my soul. Okay.
All right.
I'm going to pick... Fucking hell. I'm going to pick Dragon Age Inquisition.
Oh, what? Okay. All right. That's a choice.
Oh, you have issues with Dragon Age in general?
I could talk for days about that, but let's hear your take.
I'm going to say 2, or I'm going to pick 2 for my top, because there's no way I can make them separate.
Feel free. Yeah, we can do whatever, man. There's no rules here. There's nothing carved in stone. You want to pick 2? Go for it. You pick 2.
Okay, look, I got many games in this category, but I'll say why the top 2 are the top 2. The first one is Dragon Age Inquisition. I love that series, but also that game was so epic. Again, people who talk about the game who haven't completed it, it's just a different thing because when you go through an adventure that, again, is 300 hours long.
That's a magic number today.
Yeah. When you go through something like that, and then there's these amazing orchestral moments, which if people who played it know what I'm talking about, that just come in all of a sudden, and you are with these characters for so long. it really does leave an impression on you to talk about it in a best of, decade list. So for me, it was a very good action RPG, but unlike Dragon's Dogma, this is the one that stuck with me because of the journey I went on with the characters and how much I, felt for them. And they talk to each other all the time, as you, like Outer Worlds proved, and is still successful. And you get to kind of like hear what the characters are thinking the whole time. And I just really enjoy action RPGs, and I think it did it very, very well. And yeah, these epic moments would happen with these beautiful orchestral songs coming in, and it just felt like an epic game to me. And it went on for so long, and I had such an experience with it. So that's one of my picks. The second pick, though, is almost number one, is Infamous Second Son, because
I know why you like this game.
Yeah, I might have mentioned on the show before. It's one of the only games that has a Native American protagonist, which never happens, and also it's infamous, and I think it's probably done the best they've ever done it, where it just feels very, very good. The world was Seattle, which made it even more special because we're here in Seattle, and yeah, it was just a joy to play that game, and also to be a Native American character. And some of my highest viewed videos ever on my YouTube channel are from that game, because they have some crazy physics in that game, and I've made some really ridiculous videos. But that's not why I picked it. I picked it because, it's just a great game overall. So those are my top two picks.
Okay, so let's pause a second. I got a ton of things to say. So about Infamous Second Son, did you play the add-on DLC expansion Last Light?
Of course, yeah. I played everything of that game, and that I played as her, yeah.
Last Light was so good, dude. I loved Last Light so much. I actually liked it way more than the main game. I thought it was quite good.
Her powers are great, yeah. And I even played that mobile game. There was like a mobile ARG thing.
I don't know. I don't think I played that. But I hear what you're saying about Infamous Second Son 2. Crazy, because I lived in Seattle. I still live in Seattle, but I mean, you live in Seattle too. And seeing their condensed video game version of Seattle was kind of like mind-blowing, because I'd see a thing that I recognize, and I'm like, wait, that's in the wrong place. And it's right next to this, the next block is like another thing that's actually like 5 miles away. And I'm like, oh, wait, it's like I recognized it all, but it was all in the wrong place. And so it was just, I mean, for me, it was like kind of crazy. I'm sure you must have noticed that.
Yeah, and I don't understand
too, right?
I don't understand how they did that, because they're from here.
It was, they're literally from here.
Yeah.
It was really strange. I mean, I know they couldn't make a one-for-one recreation of Seattle, but it was very interesting and funny the way they did it. So
it was weird, yes, I agree.
It was kind of weird. But folks, if you do not own Second Son, you can, I mean, of course you could buy that, but if you want to play Last Light, which I think is actually the best experience out of that whole thing, you can actually buy that as a standalone as well. So you don't need to buy the main game.
Oh, sure. Cut out the Native American again.
No. It has nothing to do with it being Native American.
First our land, and now our video games.
It was a shorter, more compact, and her powers are awesome.
Her powers are awesome.
So fun.
But also pick up Second Son, you sons of bitches.
Pick up Second Son for Carlos. Do it for Carlos. As far as Dragon Age Inquisition, that is a pick that a lot of people love that game. A lot of people love it. I respect that. I do not love that game at all. I went to the funny story just real quickly. I went to the preview event for that game. BioWare flew me in to go and check out that game, and I sat there and I played it for like, I think maybe like 10 hours the first day, and I got to the end of it and I'm like, this game sucks. This game is terrible. I was looking around at other people at the preview event going, do you guys possibly like this? Because this is really awful.
What just give me one thing that you think is bad about it. Because, I mean, you're wrong and it's fine. But
the hinterlands, that's like...
You can't leave the hinterlands. You know, you can, by the way. That's one of my pro tips when I played it. On Video Game Break, I think, or some show I was on, I said, leave the hinterlands, because you can leave them right away.
But we didn't know that. No one knew that for like a while. Like, you're just in the hinterlands and you're doing... I mean, I didn't like the systems. I didn't like anything about that game. I'm not gonna tear it down. For me, I recognize a lot of people love it, and that's great. For me, I do not like that game at all.
Not every game is for everybody.
Absolutely. That's why we're talking about them here. We got a wide variety for folks. You're
runners
up.
Runners up. I'm always like, no, we can't move on because I have 12 more games. Really quickly, and again, write it down with your piece of paper and pencil.
Sharpen pencil.
Or calligraphy pen. Far Cry 4, very good game. Watch Dogs came out that year. Crazy. It didn't live up to its hype, but it was still an open world that I loved. Divinity Original Sin came out.
Oh, that's a good one.
And Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls, which, again, I played 300 hours of. And Wolfenstein New Order.
Okay.
Write all those down with your clicker-free pen.
Write them down quickly. For me, 2014, I picked Danganronpa, Trigger Happy Havoc, and Goodbye Despair. Those were two separate games, but they came out in the same year, and one of them leads right into the next one, so I kind of consider them both to be basically two halves of the same whole. I love these games. I don't like a lot of visual novels. This is a visual novel from Japan. Very story-based, but there was also some detective work to be done. There's also a relationship sim aspect to it. There's also a courtroom aspect that's a little bit more action-y than the rest. So it's got lots of different modes to kind of keep things from getting too boring, because if you play a visual novel, for me anyway, if it's just reading all the way through, it gets really dull. Like, I need to have a little bit more game in my video game. And Danganronpa found a really good balance. Also, the visual style was fantastic. Lots of, like, neon pink blood and great character design and things kind of being in like fake 3D. It was really great. I mean, I loved it. As far as the story goes, wonderful story. Strange story about a bunch of kids locked inside of a school, and they can't figure out why they're locked in there. And every chapter, one person dies, and so you're never sure who's going to be the next one to get killed. And it's just like this kind of race against the clock to figure out what's going on. I thought it was great. I mean, probably one of the best visual novels I've ever played. I love the characters. I love the story, love the visual style. Everything about it was fantastic. And even though both games are about 40 hours, which seems like a lot for basically just reading, I was hooked the entire time. I could not put those games down. So
I almost picked that game up so many times, but isn't there some action elements, like you said, like shooting or something in it, or no?
No, not really. I mean, when you get to the courtroom scene, there are, kind of like mini games where you can choose things to select. And that's kind of, it's not like a real time thing, but there's like a little bit of a timer on it. So I think maybe some visual novel people didn't like having that time pressure. But no, it's not. There's no shooting. You don't need to have like reflexes or anything. I mean, it's pretty easy to play if you don't have, twitch reflexes. So it's 90% visual novel, 10% like other stuff. But it's great. It's a great balance. Great story, great characters. I loved it. I thought it was just so amazing.
I'm gonna try it sometime because I keep putting it off. But now you put it as such a high on your list. I'm gonna try it.
So good. It's so good. I bought a stuffed animal based off of their mascot Monokuma, the bear that's like half black and half white. I love that guy, and I don't buy stuffies of every game. So if I bought a stuffy, it's a good game.
Yeah.
2015, Carlos.
Witcher 3.
The only possible choice.
The only possible choice. Tell us about it. And then I'll give you a couple runners-up. Witcher 3 is, got a resurgence right now. Everybody go watch the Netflix series. It's very good. Witcher 3 was an RPG that was different. Again, it left an impression because it wasn't traditional. It had a lot of story.
Tons of story.
A lot of side stories that you really, really cared about. Like most side stories in RPGs are, go behind this waterfall and get this sword for me and then come back. And then guess what? It's not the right sword. Go back. You have to get something else. And actually, can you shine my shoes? Like, that's an NPC quest normally.
Totally, dude. Totally.
And this one was like love lost and huge epic story about, two fated lovers and things that were just epic stories that you really cared about every little side thing you were doing. Was the combat the best? No. It was a lot of dodge and rolling, but you kind of figure it out pretty early on, and then it becomes pretty fun because there is a lot of, again, actionness to the RPG, which I like. So mixing that together with great story, and again, a very long story and incredible DLC. I played every single moment of all the DLC, Blood and Wine, all of it. And again, I think about 300 hours. And it was, just call this episode 300 hours.
300 hours, it's done.
It was just epic. And again, the RPG-ness to it, it just, because it's based on these, folk tales and this kind of different world that was already existing. So I think that really helped it. Obviously, there was 2 games before this one. And this was a culmination, I think, of all the great mechanics put into one game. And then, touching base on the story that they had taken from these folktales. So it all felt like a very realized world, right? So if something happened or some character said something about the Strega or Striga or monster, or something that happened in this world, like, you believed it, right? It was a very believable fantasy medieval world. And I love every damn second of it. people go back and play it. It's on everything now. It's on your Switch.
It's on everything. Yeah, it's on the Switch. It's on everything. It's on TV. It's on everything.
I
agree. I mean, this is the only possible choice. I mean, Witcher 3, it basically moved the bar forward, I think, for open world RPGs. I don't think there's any real dispute about that, because not only was the open world incredibly dense with a lot of things to do, but so many of those things to do had like significance, had tons of story. Like I did all of the side quests, and every one was like slightly different in a different way. Like there were no cookie cutter quests. It was never just like the NPC standing there with the exclamation point over their head. Like they all had story, they all had different outcomes. There was something interesting around every corner. I mean, of course there were some little repeat objectives, but if you just skip those and stuck to the story quests, you had like 150 hours of like truly great writing. I mean, some of those things that happen in that game are just phenomenal. I mean, I love the characters. Every character is great. And it's interesting, too, because I think Witcher 3 has a lot of really strong female characters. That was one of the things I like best about it. I mean, Triss and Yennefer and Ciri and all the other women characters made that game genuinely better for having been in it. And it really showed CD Projekt Red, who did not have the greatest track record of women characters in the past, really stepped up their game. And I think they did a great job with handling those. And also, some of the story quests were really kind of touchy. Some sensitive subjects came up, and I thought they were all handled really well. In addition, the romance between, Geralt and, I mean, I guess it depends which way you go.
Geralt and everybody, you mean?
I mean, Geralt and everybody. But for me, I was Team Yennefer from square one all the way through. I know some people don't like her. I thought Yennefer was wonderful. And I loved every minute of their dialogue, every minute they had together, whether it was on top of the ship at the end of the world, or on top of the stuffed unicorn in the hotel, or like in the bathtub, or whatever. I mean, it was all great. I was like eating it up with a spoon. It was so good.
I forgot about the unicorns that you just said.
Oh, the unicorn, dude. And Ciri was great. I mean, everything. I mean, but the thing that really made this stand out was like, it was excellent as an open world, excellent from story. So it did prove you could tell a compelling story in an open world setting. And I mean, I think the graphics were great. I mean, just everything about it was wonderful. And the DLC, Blood and Wine was fine. I thought Blood and Wine was okay. But Hearts of Stone was like singular. Like, it is such a good piece of writing. It is such a good piece of video game. I mean, all of Witcher 3 is great, but Hearts of Stone is like the fucking best. And
yeah.
I can't even describe how good it is. I mean, it's funny because on this list, I chose Left Behind as one of the best DLCs of all time, which it is. Hearts of Stone, also one of the best DLCs of all time. And also, like, just one of the best pieces of, like, 10 of the best video game hours you could ever have is in that DLC. So
yeah,
I love Witcher 3. No other possible choice. So I love Witcher 3. What are your runners up, Carlos?
Before we leave that, though, one of the reason why people should check out Witcher 3, because you're hearing a lot of it now, is I think we just touched on it, and I just thought of this. In those story elements, what it did differently, and I think it's because it's taken from these, Polish folktales. It's Polish, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Is that you get a different perspective on, like, what it means to be a monster, right? Like, there's, like, monsters that turn back into people, or, there are things that have been cursed, and you're like, well, I just wanted to hate that thing because it's a monster in a video game, right? But then I realized, it's actually like James. Like, it's actually, it's something really sad that happened, and this person's always going to be a terrible ghost now, right? I met this ghost lady, and in the beginning you're like, this is the thing you kill, because role-playing games.
Yeah, totally.
And I think that's a thing that's underlooked, because you forget that they really change your perspective of how you look at, in quotes, monsters. I think that's
They added humanity to every aspect of this game, especially
right.
the monsters, that I think was lacking in a lot of the games. You're totally right, dude. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, just that little note, and also real quick runners-up. Fallout 4. I love Fallout. It does anything, I will buy it. Yes, it had its problems, but I played, guess how many hours?
300 hours?
Yes.
300 hours.
Until Dawn, because that really shook me, and I was like, what? You could do a horror game like this? It's like a movie. I'm watching a horror movie. I really liked it. Life is Strange came out that year.
Ah, man, Life is Strange.
Which, again, these are epic moments of, like, changing what games can be, and that was a choose-your-own-adventure that was touching. And Dying Light came out that year, which we talked about.
So good.
So fucking good. That game, like,
super good.
Holds up really good. You should go back and play Dying Light, everybody.
Absolutely.
Write it down with your calligraphy pen. And Just Cause 3 came out, which I love any Just Cause. But I will say this. Guess what came out that year? Tony Hawk 5. So that means there's a point to this. That means that now 5 years ago was the last time we had a Tony Hawk, and I'm craving, and I know our listeners are too, a lot of them, a good skateboarding game. And Skate 3 came out, I forgot when, but a while ago. So fucking somebody get on this. Like, we gotta, I don't know, what has to happen to get a new Tony Hawk, but I just really, really want one. I'm a Tony Hawk person. I don't know. Are you not?
I'm not really a Tony Hawk person. I don't care for it that much, but I know a lot of people love it. I got a lot of friends that love it. It's fun, but I never like got into it, like I never really clicked that hard. I played for a day or two. But.
My only reason I brought it up, though, is because I went to go buy it just now because I was like, fuck it, I'll go back and buy the fifth one just because I want it. It's $60 still.
Oh
what
my God.
the
Get
fuck
out of here.
is going
Get the fuck
on?
out of here.
Here's our bitching moment. Let's do it. Let's fucking let into these developers. What the shit is wrong with you?
There's no way I'm paying $60 for this.
Ni no Kuni 2 just came out a little while ago. Is up for $20 right now. It's an epic story game that was a $60 game. What is wrong? It should be $4.99.
I mean, is it Tony Hawk's not giving up his royalties or something? Like, what's the deal?
There's got to be some sort of contract thing. There's no other reason. I just typed it on my PS4. It said $60, and I said, fuck you.
That is. I bet you could get a physical copy for like $5.
I bet you could buy Tony Hawk for fucking $60.
He's not busy these days. He's not doing much.
He's probably on that. What's that website where you like hire people to say shit to you? They're celebrities.
I have no idea.
There's a site like that. Yeah, I forgot what it is. People listening know, and you could like hire him for $60 an hour probably.
That would be amazing.
Okay, move on to 2016.
Moving on.
Sorry.
2016. What is your top pick, Carlos?
Fuck me. Okay, I have 2 top picks. No, I have
okay.
Nope. Fuck it. I'm sorry. I have 3 top picks.
I will tell you before you say I will tell you.
Why don't you go first?
I can go first, and I will tell you. I picked a 3-way tie.
Oh,
so
good.
If that takes some pressure off of you,
it does. It does.
Good. Sure, I'll go first. 3-way tie. First game was Let It Die, which I put not 300 but 200 hours into. This was a third-person semi-roguelike action, kind of an RPG, but more like a roguelike action game where you were a post-apocalyptic dude climbing a tower and you like killed other people and took their gear and just kind of slowly leveled up and climbed your way up the tower. I am well known for having a tower fetish in video games, and this was like the biggest tower ever. It was really epic. And the gameplay was just really great. It was very tense because, the stakes were kind of high. You could lose your stuff, and the roguelike element was really good. But you could also make characters, and there was some permanence, so it wasn't like the biggest spank you could ever get if you died. But characters were great. Uncle Death is a character I love. I still get a lot of kicks out of him. And I think just overall, wonderful action RPG experience. It had some really interesting online integration as well.
Every time I heard you talk about any video game in 2016, it was Let It Die.
I talked about it a bunch. I talked about it a ton. And also, I ended up guesting on, I believe it was Bonfireside Chat with Gary and Cole, very well-loved podcast, one of my favorite podcasts. It was an honor to record with those guys, and we talked about Let It Die. And that was like a dream come true for me to talk to those guys on a game that I actually loved a lot. So you can go back and listen to that episode if you like. But Let It Die was a great experience. The other 2 games, I picked Overwatch in 2016. I'm not generally an online shooter kind of guy. I'm not really a competitive multiplayer kind of guy. But this was a great one. I just loved the strategic interplay between the characters and how choosing each character really made a big difference. It wasn't just like everybody had your general Call of Duty guy. It was about, the different powers and how some were better in some situations than others. I love the strategic element. And also it was, a multiplayer game. So me, my wife, and my son could all play it at the same time when we were often like a 3-man team. So that was really fun too. And it's just good times. Pretty cartoony. We kind of fell off it after a while, but we played probably for a good solid year where we were playing like at least maybe once a day or 3-4 times a week. And that was good times. So really loved Overwatch a lot. I'm not happy with how Blizzard has kind of fucked up the cultural aspects of that game. They really need to get their shit together for such a rich company. It seems they're totally clueless. But other than that, I had a really good time with it in 2016. And the last game that I picked for my 3-way tie was The Last Guardian. The Last Guardian in 2016. The game that everybody thought was vaporware for 10 years disappeared. It was Fumito Ueda's magnum opus, where you play as a little third-person guy and you have a relationship with a giant griffin bird monster animal thing with wings. And the simulation of that animal's AI is unbelievable. Like, it often seems like a real living creature. You don't know what it's going to do. You can't always predict what it's going to do. Sometimes it goes off and does its own fucking thing and you're just shouting at it to come back and it won't. but like you build a relationship with that creature over time, and it's just the way it moves, the way it looks. It's creepy real. Like it's creepy real, and the fact that it actually came out after 10 years of being rumored vaporware was amazing. I mean, it was like a joke. It was like, the joke that people rolled out whenever we were talking about some game that was never going to come out. And I remember when they announced it, and I went fucking apeshit. I'm like, oh my god, it's actually coming out. I'm so excited. And not only did it come out, it was actually excellent. Like, I thought it was a wonderful, wonderful experience. So, Overwatch, The Last Guardian, and Let It Die was a three-way tie for 2016.
Perfect. Yeah, none of mine are those games.
All right, what do you got, Carlos?
I'll do it just like you did, kind of back to back. We got Final Fantasy 15, one of my favorite Final Fantasy games of all time. I think people slept on that game. Maybe they saw the three dudes in a car and said, like, it's not for me. But again, if similar to Dragon Age Inquisition, if you take the journey with those guys and gals, you have a really incredible thing, including near the ending, a really sad moment that made me like uncomfortably sad for a long time after. And if people who played it and beat it know what I'm talking about, but this really huge thing that happens to one of the characters made me so bummed out. I wish I could spoil it, but it's something that I've never seen in a video game. And I was like, what? I'm just going to be sad now. And an epic ending. Final Fantasy 15, love that game. Really want a new one in the series. Watch Dogs 2, probably one of my favorite games of all time, period. Because any open world game, like I said before, I think this list is great because you get to see each of our likes in games, right? This is a good...
see our preferences coming out over time.
Yeah, they really are, across 10 years. And for me, again, going back to an open world, especially one that's based on the present, it'll get a high marks every time. And they did an incredible job with this one versus the first one, where it felt like a living, breathing San Francisco. Also, like Infamous Second Son, I lived in San Francisco for a very long time, and they did a very good job of 1-to-1 ratio and kind of like what this city felt like. So not only was I living in San Francisco at the time, I wasn't living in San Francisco at the time. I was here in Seattle. I was just remembering fondly of my time there, and it's incredible, and I really can't wait for the new one. And then the third tie is, I think, my pick of the year. It's actually the number one, is No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky. So in the year that it came out, or now?
No, in the year that came out. Fuck everybody else. Like,
okay, that's fair.
When I say everybody else, I mean all the haters around that time. It just made me disgusted because Hello Games worked on this thing for a while. They somehow simulated a universe on one disc. Like, fuck all. Like, it's crazy what they accomplished. And yeah, it wasn't perfect. And similar to Skyrim and a bunch of other games that come out buggy and not the fully realized thing, a lot of it's expectation, right? Like, what do you expect? Dead Island's is a good example. They put out a cinematic trailer. It's not that game. People got, dejected a little bit. Oh, it's this buggy thing. I just wanted a universe, and I wanted to go fly around this thing. I mean, I still have memories, almost dreams, really, of my experiences with that game where I landed on a planet, and because it was an algorithm and all procedurally generated, I was seeing this weird version of a world that no one had ever seen before. And because it felt so big, because you just walk on the planet, these huge monolith structures, these dark clouds rolling in, I just felt like I was exploring our actual universe. Yes, are the monsters janky in the beginning? Of course they were. Are things not perfect and a lot of things got recycled? Yeah. But at the same time, they were varied enough for me to feel like, what is this place about? And what is this thing that I'm exploring? I didn't care about the combat. I didn't care about multiplayer not being there. I just wanted to exist in this universe, and they created that, which is more than I can say for a lot of games. I mean, it's so massive what they created with an algorithm. So, those are my top three.
That makes sense. That is a very Carlos game for sure. I can totally understand why you would pick that.
Yeah, and here's quick runners-up. Inside came out. Fucking Inside.
Inside, yes, I remember Inside.
Firewatch.
Good game.
Dragon Quest Builders.
Good game.
The very first one, right? So that's where it's like, whoa, what is this? Mafia 3, which I probably spent 300 hours in.
Get out of here.
No, I really did that. I'm not joking. Mafia 3, I played a lot of.
Okay, all right, that's fair. All right.
Dishonored 2 and Quantum Break. All those are runners-up.
All right, excellent. Those are some good picks. And like you said, your observation is correct. I think we're not all the way through the entire list. We're getting to the end here, but I think it's become very clear which way we each lean when it comes to games, and we don't lean the same way. But people listening, I think, you're getting a pretty good snapshot for who we are as players. So this is a pretty interesting discussion here.
Yeah.
2017. I'll go first here since you just wrapped up. 2017 was a weird pick for me because this was the first time I think in my life when I picked a game of the year that was not released during that year, and there was extenuating circumstances. So my game of the year that year was Warframe. Have you ever played Warframe, Carlos?
Yeah, I have. I'm not as big a fan as everybody in the world right now, but tell us why you love it so much.
Well, I mean, when Warframe came out, I didn't think it was that good. I've always loved the visual style. It's a weird techno-organic space ninja sort of a thing. It's very distinctive looking. But it was a launch title for PS4, and it was not great. And they kept at it, though. Like, I figured it was going to vanish. But they kept building, kept working on it, and it kept gaining an audience, which I honestly found kind of surprising. And I checked back in with it, I think maybe 2 or 3 more times. Like, I would check in like once a year, because I'd hear people talk about it. And I'd be like, damn, that game is still around? That's nuts. I'm going to go back and check it out. And it's free, so you can download it at any time. And I would download it and be like, no, I'm not going to play this again. And it took like 5 times of me downloading and deleting it and then downloading it again. And the 5th time, I started playing it with good bros, Patty Stardust and Coffee Jesus over in the UK. Hello, what's up, gentlemen? Hello. They really got me into it with their silver tongue ways. They can talk anybody into any game. And the 5th time was the charm. I started to get through the systems. They helped me out with some of the impenetrable aspects of the game, which is still a tall barrier. Like, I think this game has a very tall entry barrier for newcomers. They don't explain a lot of the jargon. The tutorials are not great. They're working on it, but they're still not there yet. But once I got past that, I finally found the best version of a game that had been kicking around for 5 years or whatever it was. And it was just a wonderful experience. And so I chose it because it kind of reflected our modern times, right? With patches, add-ons, DLC. There's no game these days that is at its best when it is first released. Every game is better 6 months or a year after it comes out. And this was the most extreme example of where this game came out. I don't think it was a great game when it came out, but it had a few little good things going for it. They built on it. And then 5 years later, or however long it was a wonderful game. It was the best experience I had in 2017. And considering the changing nature of our electronic medium, I kind of felt like I kind of had to give it to it because that's just how things are these days. Nothing is good. And it's just a reality that games change over time.
It's what you were playing at the time, and I think it's part of this games as a service thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I don't know. Destiny today is probably a world different than what it was back then. And I don't think it's fair to say that, for a game as a service or a continuing game or anything like that, that you take a snapshot of it when it launches and then that's it. You never look at it again. That seems like a very short-sighted view to me. So with that in mind, that was why I chose Warframe for 2017, because that was by far the best experience I had that year, even though it didn't launch that year. But I felt like we got to just reflect the times. And to me, that made a lot of sense. So yeah. Warframe was my pick.
Yeah, that makes sense. And again, I still think that, to your earlier point, that, yeah, solo single-player games can come out and they can be judged on what they first came out before the patch. Hopefully we live in a world where that still is possible. And I know it's true because I play games that are standalone games that aren't games as services that come out and that are great. But I think, yeah, when you talk about multiplayer games, so much of the time it's, I know because I'm working for a developer, figuring it out. Right? You're figuring out what you want to do with the game.
Absolutely.
You're figuring out what your audience wants from the game. And I think you give that kind of leeway to those types of games, and then you just kind of follow it, and you see where it goes. And
it just doesn't seem fair that developers, whether it's Warframe, whether it's Fortnite, whether it's Destiny, whether it's PUBG or whatever, it just doesn't feel fair that they take the feedback, like you said, they figure out the roadmap, they figure out where they're going, they make the fixes, and they turn out a game which is a wonderful game, and then we ignore it because it didn't come out that year. That's crazy talk to me.
Yeah, I don't think we will. I think going forward, that transition is happening. So
yeah.
All right,
there we go. Warframe 2017 for you, Carlos. What was it?
Yeah, this one's pretty easy. It's Horizon Zero Dawn.
Okay, Horizon Zero Dawn. Tell us about it.
It is, again, open world game. Wow, we're seeing a through line here.
A theme here, yes, absolutely.
But done in a very beautiful way. Also, graphics were beautiful at the time, still are, especially for just even a few years ago. Incredible graphics. And robot dinosaurs. It's kind of all I should have to say. Robot dinosaurs, being able to fight them and take off parts of them. I think they did a really good job of like mechanics of fighting something that's mechanical, and breaking off parts of them to beat it. Like these things felt impossible in the beginning. These huge robotic dinosaurs, and you're on this kind of planet with a ton of them. But then after a while, you learn ways to use different mechanics or different weapons to take them down, and then you just feel more and more empowered. The story was cool. The world was cool. I liked that the fact that, and I'm fine with this, I don't think it was appropriation, but I think they did a lot of kind of nods to natives, native cultures in general, not just Native Americans. And it felt very much like, here's an interesting otherworldly native culture, and let's learn about them. And there was a lot of kind of, honor bestowed to the kind of natives of this world. And the DLC, which is incredible. If you guys played that game and didn't go back and play the DLC, I would highly recommend you play the DLC for Horizon Zero Dawn. There's a whole mission that really is native focused, around different kind of native ways and cultures and stuff, and beliefs and stuff. So I liked it for those couple different reasons, like robot dinosaurs, really beautiful world, really interesting ending of a story. I think I really like the ending a lot, and I love the DLC kind of nod to native culture. So yeah, that's my number one pick for 2017.
All right. What's the runners up?
Runners up only 3. Oh no, that's a lie. 2017 had 1 million. Oh no, 2017 might have had. I think people have said this. There's like YouTube videos of it. Might have been one of the best years for games. Okay, I'll just run these off, and you can You can go like yes, no, or whatever.
I will do that.
I know you're going to say no to this, but fuck off first, okay?
Pre-fuck off.
Pre-fuck off, because you're wrong.
Okay.
Mass Effect Andromeda.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, it's fine.
Okay.
Dragon Quest 11.
I never played it.
Yeah, it's very, very good. Again, 300 hours. Super Mario Odyssey. Very, very good Mario game that got me back into Mario.
Okay.
Night in the Woods, because I waited for that game for like 12 years. Very excited that it finally came out.
A lot of fans for that one.
Nier Automata. Oh, you didn't care. Okay. Divinity Original Sin 2. Amazing. Hellblade.
I got to play that. I have it.
You got it. We talked about why you haven't yet, but yes.
Haven't yet, but I will.
Wolfenstein 2. Assassin's Creed Origins.
Okay. All right.
The beginning of an RPG in Assassin's Creed, essentially. That was like the beginning. And then Dishonored Death of the Outsider. Don't sleep on that game, people. Go back and pick that up. Did you play it?
I did not. I'm not a Dishonored fan.
Okay. If you like Dishonored, write it down with your old crayon and stone tablet.
Your piece of chalk. Your sharp
yeah,
rock.
Chalk works better on rock. Yeah, your chalk and your sharp rock. Write down Dishonored, Death of the Outsider. It is very good. Stands the test of time. Go check out that DLC.
Wonderful. That's a lot of game.
I know.
To recommend right there. That's like 9,000 hours of a game right there.
Well, I played all of these. I got problems.
I mean, I've probably put in amount of time. I'm just thinking of somebody who's writing these down, going like, okay, jotting these down. And if you just look at this list that we're recommending, I mean, it's more than enough game to fill 10 years. So like, hopefully these people are not going to like buy these games and then sit down and check them off one by one, because we won't hear from them again for a decade. And then they're going to miss out on the next decade of games. It's going to be impossible.
You can do it. You can just take a little from column A, a little from column B.
There you go. Okay, 2018. We've already talked about 2019 because we did an entire Game of the Year show. Just really quickly, my 2019 Game of the Year was Control. What was yours, Carlos?
Outer Worlds.
So we're not going to talk about those. We did an entire show about those, so just know that we covered those already. So this will be our final game of this section of the show. 2018 for me, Into the Breach. I love that game so hard. It is a top-down 2D pixel-based tactics game where the battlefields, I think, are like 8 squares by 8 squares. You have a team of 3 robots and you fight a number of enemy bugs. But the thing about this was it was such an open proposition where the developers give you full information. They tell you exactly what the enemies are going to do. There is no trickery. There is no smoke and mirrors. They're like, hey, the next attack is going to be this, this, and this. You deal with it however you want to deal with it. Whether you stop it somehow, you kill the enemies before they attack, you block the damage, whatever you want to do, it's up to you. But I loved that they were brave and bold enough to let the player know exactly what's going down and just throw it out there like a challenge. Here's what's happening. Go ahead and deal with this in any way that you want. So that was fantastic. I also love that in addition to your starting team of 3 robots, which each of them had different powers, there was, I think, like 12 different teams of 3 robots, and they were all like wildly different. I played through the campaign with each team. Each experience was totally different. You could also mix and match. There was all sorts of achievements you could go for that were really fun and made you look at the game in different ways. It's also kind of like a roguelike, so things were different every time you played. You didn't play the same campaign, even if you chose the same team over and over. Bite size, great graphics, really readable. UI was great. Wonderful aspects. There were some secrets tucked in there. I don't say this often, dude. I don't say this often. But I'm going to say this now. I think Into the Breach is a perfect game. Like, I don't think there's any way it could be better. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think every choice is genius. Every choice is the right choice. It's a perfect game. And I never say that. I never say that. But I think if I had to pick one game out of all the last, 38 years I've been playing games, Into the Breach is a perfect game.
Wow, that's an epic statement. And also, it's a very perfect Brad game, right?
It is very perfect as a Brad game. And I think overall, I would challenge anyone to tell me what's wrong with Into the Breach, because you're automatically wrong. There's no wrong choice in that game.
Would I be right in saying that like a Brad game would be like kind of roguelike, kind of quick and easy, kind of great systems? Like, I mean,
that's all my shit right there.
Yeah. And so and again, maybe why you play a lot of games on Switch, the games can be like that on the Switch, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
They can have all those mechanics. And for me, it would be, if I see a through line here, it's this like open world, epic,
immersive stuff, options, for sure.
I'm learning a lot about ourselves in this whole
self-examination, introspection going on in real time.
Well, then it makes perfectly sense why I picked my 2018 pick.
Which was what?
Red Dead Redemption 2, baby.
Oh, dude, that is so in the pocket for you. That is absolutely okay.
That's
that makes
full
perfect
on
sense.
In the pocket. Yeah, I mean, you don't really have to describe this game. It is, it actually. I never, just kind of going back to our original topic, I had never beat Red Dead Redemption. And I played it, and I loved it, but I remember I didn't beat it. So after playing Red Dead Redemption 2, I went back to play Red Dead Redemption, because what's interesting is Red Dead Redemption 2 is the prequel. So it is before the events of Red Dead Redemption. Yes, I got that right. And so
you're right.
So, it makes you literally like, when I remember playing Red Dead in the beginning, going like, what's going on? I was kind of confused by the characters. You finish Red Dead Redemption 2, and you know exactly what's happening in Red Dead. You're like, oh, of course, this is the whole lay of the land. But Red Dead 2 is my pick because, again, this beautiful world that was very realized, a ton of NPCs, a ton of AI, worlds that just felt like a real place that you could exist in. It felt slow, which is interesting, a new mechanic of like purposely making you go slow through the world and be a cowboy. And I don't know many games have done that like successfully, where you feel like you're just going to take in the scenery and be a good old cowboy doing cowboy things. Man, that game is, again, one of my favorite games. I think it was 400 hours, something like that.
I was gonna say you must have upped it for that game, because that game is epic on an epic scale.
After you beat the game, there's at least 15 or 20 hours of game.
That's what people tell me, like a mega epilogue, like an epilogue that could have been its own game.
Oh, it's definitely its own game. It's easily, because I kept thinking like, okay, it's gonna end now. Okay, it's gonna end now. Nope, it just never did.
Never did.
So here's my runners up, because it was a pretty full year, but I'll keep it to Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Okay.
I played 500
hours.
Shit!
We're getting up
easy,
there. Okay.
Easy.
All right.
I just literally stopped playing Odyssey DLC like 2 months ago.
Week?
2 months ago, yeah. But no, seriously, a couple months ago, I was like, okay, I'm going back in. I got to beat that other DLC, so I did. Far Cry 5.
All right.
Huge game for me. Monster Hunter World, because it was the Monster Hunter on the PS4 that got me back into Monster Hunter.
Wow. Okay. All right.
And I played 150 hours or something.
Really? I don't remember you playing that game at all.
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about it much. I didn't like a lot of mechanics of the grinding, sharpening of the sword, and that thing can still go fuck off. But it did a lot less of that. Like, I felt you didn't have to sharpen your sword as much, and I like the action-y elements of it. Again, going back to Dragon's Dogma. I did like jumping up and kind of double blading a huge monster. Like there's
A lot of that stuff, yeah.
a lot of, and I picked the 2-blade guy, like to be really fast and quick. And then last but not least, and I want to mention this because I don't think people know about this game. It's so simple. It might be on the Switch now. You can tell me. Donut County.
Donut County. I think it is on the Switch. I'm pretty sure it is. It's on basically everything, I think.
What a beautiful little game. I mean, I was waiting for it for a while. Actually, a lot like both of us, we follow the developers. We know developers. I had been talking to those guys for a while, and I just kept waiting for it, and it finally came out, and it did not disappoint. It's such a simple, funny game, and the ending is hilarious. Go check out Donut County.
That's a fun game to play. That is a fun game to play. Carlos, just to circle back for a second, I just realized I'm drinking coffee as we're on the podcast. The mug that I'm drinking out of is an Into the Breach mug.
Oh!
I custom made a mug myself because I love that game so much. It's a perfect game.
Okay, so it's a perfect Brad game, but that means it's not a perfect Carlos game. But because it's your perfect game, I should go play it.
You should try it. I think everybody should at least try that game because that is a wonderful game. Anyway, It also makes a wonderful coffee mug. There we go. Those are our games of the decade. Like I said, we already covered 2019 on a separate podcast. So hopefully you heard about some games that you didn't know about. Hopefully you go check out some of these games that we really love. Maybe get a taste of some of these things. Maybe we'll introduce you to something you have never tried before. Maybe one of these will be your next new favorite game. Who knows? But I think we brought a lot to the table. Carlos, I was very impressed with your picks. You brought a shitload to the table as well.
Thank you. I failed the system. I failed our whole job of picking, but
yeah, I think you failed upwards. I think you made it better because
Okay.
you gave people even more options. So I think that was wonderful. So thank you very much for that, folks. There you go. Delivered on that promise. A couple more quick sections of the show to go, and then we're going to wrap it up. We did ask you all a question last week. What were the games that got you through the holidays? Did you have family come over that you couldn't stand? Did you need to go hide in a game? Did you need to immerse yourself in some kind of visual open world to escape reality? Were you sad? Did you not have any family? Did you just want to play something for fun? What was the game that got you through the holidays? Carlos, this was your question. I think this was a brilliant question. We got a lot of responses. We're going to read them now. Why don't you start us off, sir? What were the holiday survival games of our listeners? Why don't you start?
Yeah, what games helped you like make it through the holidays? Because they can be good, terrible. It's a weird time. You have a lot of time off. You're sometimes or most of the time with family that you maybe didn't see for a while. Maybe there's issues going on.
Maybe you don't want to see.
Maybe you don't want to see. Lots of times that happens. And then, yeah, what game helped you kind of make it through it? Or just because you had the free time, did you want to go check out? Yeah, we got 14 million replies, and we'll just pick a few of them this time. I'll start with Ryan Pascal. He said, I played a lot of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe with my daughter, but I also have recently set a task to clear my backlog of incomplete games and have been working through Original Dishonored. Hey, on my list.
There you go.
And my intention is to then hit the sequel too. Well, and also check out Death of the Outsider.
There you go. Even more for you, Ryan. Next one comes from Zolbrod. Good man, Zolbrod. Continuing to chip away at Iceborne, which is the Monster Hunter World expansion, and played through almost all of Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair. It's a great game, but I don't know if I'll finish because the final level is, indeed, impossible.
And I replied to that and said that, I don't like when the last level is like really, really difficult. And now that makes sense because, like you said, it's called Impossible Lair.
But why end on a bad note? You know, you got something to buy your game. Why end on your worst possible note? So many games do that. It's dumb. Don't do that.
I got to make a small tangent and just say that Rise of the Tomb Raider has that. And at the end, I, got really good at fighting and shooting and all the things that you're supposed to learn in that game. And then it's like, no, throw this little can and distract the guy. That's your mechanic. and like, don't get shot when he goes and looks for the can, and then you can stab him. And I had to do that twice.
I hate when they give like a brand new mechanic at the very end of the game.
Hate it.
That sucks.
Okay, moving on. John Cheatham says, mostly Into the Breach. Hey.
All right. Yay.
My wife got me a Switch for Christmas, and Into the Breach was perfect for various train journeys, quiet moments during the holidays. Ended up logging 15 hours to go with the 20 hours I've got on Steam. Love that game.
Excellent. You're my new favorite person, John Cheatham. Next one comes from Pete Lawson. Says World of Warships, Call of Duty, and Ni no Kuni 2, which we're hearing about. Lots of Minecraft with the kids as well. I made a special PS folder for a pile of shame games I wanted to get through and played not a one of them.
Oh.
I know how that goes. He says also, I even started Man of Medan, which is lots of fun. Shame about how the characters control in those tight spaces, but it's hardly a big deal.
That's a good idea about making a PS folder. I forgot they exist. You can make folders.
The folders cannot hold all the games in my pile of shame. Even though they are digital and the space is infinite, Still not enough space.
Well, that doesn't make sense, but okay. Moving on to Badger Commander, I started playing Control because of you.
Hey! All right. Next comes from Poo Poo Noob, that name always makes me laugh, by the way. The Outer Worlds. It was my Christmas present. I am 40 plus hours in, and I love it.
They only have 160 more hours to go.
There you go.
How do I say this next one?
Shawnee Boy.
Shawnee Boy, Fire Emblem Three Houses, sucked me in. That's a great one for on the go.
Excellent. That one's on the Switch. I believe Switch exclusive. Next is the Unabridged Gamer. It says, honestly, returning to Battlefront 2015 on Xbox, which is surprisingly active half a decade later.
What?
It was just the level of mindless fun that I could cram in between family headaches.
Yeah, sometimes you just need that kind of quick action to get your mind somewhere else.
Absolutely.
Voxan says, during my vacation, I played Guild Wars 2, Horizon Dawn Zero. No, it's Horizon Zero Dawn. It's written down Horizon Dawn Zero, so.
We all know what she's talking about.
Yeah, Horizon Zero Dawn, good pick. And the Talos Principle, which is also a very good game.
Oh, love the Talos Principle.
Yeah, I love Talos Principle for the puzzles. Guild Wars has Winter's Day events. I can never miss Christmas. Horizon Zero Dawn is my favorite stealth game, so much fun.
Excellent picks. Rowan Carmichael says a lot of Utaware Rumono. Mask of Truth, the second one. You know, honestly, dude, I hear a lot about this game in my Twitter feed. I see a lot of people playing this. I don't think I've ever played one. I don't think I have any experience. I need to check this out because this name keeps popping up.
I see it pop up a lot too, so let's investigate. Oh no. David,
I think it's Jagno, I believe.
David Jagno. Control was refreshing to dive into a big AAA game I knew little about other than praise and discover something original and fun. Yeah, again, that's a great one to kind of lose yourself in.
Absolutely. There's a lot to do in that game. Hargrada, good man Hargrada, longtime Game Critics listener and reader, says picked up Vaporum on a Switch sale. It's a really solid grid-based dungeon crawler like Legend of Grimrock from a few years ago. Not my favorite genre, but I definitely get an itch for one every now and then. Me too.
I played that. It's actually really fun. Drew Brew says, Dark Souls 2, just a couple of trophies away from Platinum. That game is comfort food.
Love Dark Souls 2. That's probably my favorite out of the series. Good stuff. Robert Scott, little fun fact. Robert Scott was almost the host of the Game Critics podcast. He was very close back in the day when we went through a big upheaval. We needed a new person to take over the show. He was a very, 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 very close runner-up to who we actually ended up picking. Robert Scott is a great guy, so thank you very much for continuing to listen, Rob. I see you out there on the Twitters. You're a good man. Robert Scott says, Deep Sky Derelicts and Objects in Space. I don't know either one of those, but I will check them out.
Yeah, I will too. Lupus Est says, finally got a hold of Bayonetta 1 and 2 for Switch and playing Pokemon Sword. That is so funny. That is so funny because when I read that, they shortened Pokemon, and I thought it was Pikmin Sword, and I'm like, oh shit, is there a new Pikmin game out? Pikmin Sword, that'd be kind of a badass game. I kind of would be down for Pikmin Sword. Yeah, so everybody listening, it's written down right now in the notes as PKMN, and my mind just said Pokemon because I saw Sword. And I was like, Pikmin, because 1,000 little Pikmin with 1,000 little swords is pretty dope. It's pretty dope, yeah. Upsello says, I played Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, but it didn't help one bit. It was miserable. Playing Control now, though, and having a great time. Ooh, sounds like you definitely upgraded there. Yeah, Control's a theme here. Maybe that's because of us. That's way better. Nick Kummert says, something about the holidays always drives me back to the Yakuza series. This year it was Kiwami 2. I think it's the depth, zaniness, and pro-social nature of the series that makes me want to play around the holidays. Not sure. Fabian says, surprisingly enjoying the heck out of Asphalt 9 Legends? Yep. I've never heard of that game. Asphalt, what? There's 9 asphalts? What is this? Is it a racing game? I have no idea. We don't do research. Okay. Jesus. Okay, you got me on that one, Fabian. You got me. But I think feeling down in general, Ring Fit Adventure has helped me at least feel a little bit better about myself overall. Even if it's hard to muster up the energy to do it sometimes, feels great to have done it. Yeah, I think I commented on that one. I mean, any video game that mixes health with it and kind of gamifies, getting up and moving is really, really good. So that's absolutely great. Absolutely. Louis Filatrault says... Louis, okay, that. I unexpectedly played through Uncharted 4 for a third time. First,
How do you unexpectedly play through and
unexpectedly,
try to...
he was
Come
all of a
on,
sudden just
Louis.
looking down and his hands were in the controller.
Like, oh my god, it's on the screen. What happened? How
Oh
did I
my,
get
wait,
here?
you almost did. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Yeah, the old
We
one.
used to do that all the time. We got to do that again.
Yeah. First in 3 years, it was a good holiday companion.
When we were on, for people who don't know what the fuck we're talking about, when we did Video Game Break, we used to say, oh my god, like all the time. That
Well,
was a good
you
time.
started it, and then I just kept, doing it.
That's a
'cause you
fun.
did.
That's a fun. I'm going to bring it back. Bringing it back. Rustic eyebrows. What are rustic eyebrows, anyways? Does that mean unplucked? What does that mean? Rustic eyebrows.
I would think they're like, kind of gnarly looking.
All right. Well, I don't know if that's what they look like. But Rustic Eyebrows says, my wife played a ton of Atelier Ryza during our holiday break. I've heard those are great games. I have not played them, but I heard they're great.
Same thing. I've seen that always pop up, and I never pick it up. I think it's because they're always like $60, and I'm like, really?
And they come out like every 3 months. I feel like there's a new Atelier game literally every time I turn
It's
around.
like there just one came out just now in this podcast.
While we were podcasting.
Also,
absolutely.
we've been podcasting for like 2 hours. Mikhail London says, played Luigi's Mansion 3 with my 5-year-old. It was a really good game. That's a great one for the holidays.
Excellent. My family's playing it right now, literally right now. And last comment comes from Ash King. I lost my 14-year-old cat at the 1st of November. Sorry to hear that, Ash. Shortly before Death Stranding came out, I spent most of my time with the game just enjoying the solace of being alone. It felt right. I was helping people have some problems with the game, but it was perfect for me at the time. Again, recapitulating the point of the right game at the right time. It's so important, right?
Yeah, I replied to that too and said that's exactly it. Like games aren't just fun games like from the 80s or 90s or like, whoa, let's just do a little fun thing in the arcade. They're experiences. They're an art form. They're something that help you get through this life. Like I said the other day at work, if I didn't have them, I don't know what I would do. Like I really don't. Like
yeah.
Like right when we finish here, I'm going to go into a world and be able to lose myself in Tomb Raider or whatever it is for a little while, and it helps you kind of give you inspiration and also just escape. So yes, I'm glad Death Stranding helped. It helped me also at that same time. So
yeah, and please accept our sympathies, Ash. I know it's really tough to lose a pet, so we're very sorry to hear that, and hopefully you're doing okay. So that brings us to the end of the comments. We only have one more section to go, and actually it is pre-recorded. What's coming up is my son, Whitaker, who has been on the podcast before, received a code to quote-unquote review the new DLC for Kerbal Space Program called Breaking Ground. It was a new update that just came out about a month ago. He's put a lot of time into it. I gave it to him because honestly, folks, I am not smart enough to play Kerbal Space Program. I tried and I failed miserably, and it's just above me. Like, it is literal rocket science, and I am not a rocket scientist, so I gave it to my 10-year-old because he's the one who's figured it out. We are going to roll that clip right now, and you'll see what Woody has to say about Kerbal Space Program Breaking Ground. All right, after long last and by popular demand, I've brought back a special guest, a returning special guest to the So Video Games podcast. It is my son, 10-year-old Whitaker Galloway. Whitty, say hello to everybody.
Hello.
Thank you for being on the show. That's you.
Thank you. Sorry, I zoned out for a second.
Nice. This is going to be a rough episode if you keep that up.
I'm here to talk about Kerbal Space Program Breaking Ground.
That was going to be my first question. So the reason we're having you back is, like you just said, we were sent a evaluation code. I don't want to say a review code because I have played Kerbal Space Program, and full disclosure, I am not smart enough to play it. So I turned the code over to you, and I asked PR. I said, hey, I'm interested in your game. I think it's neat. I've seen it a lot. But I just literally can't give you a review because I'm not smart enough to hang. Can I give it to my son and bring him on the podcast to talk about it? And then they said, sure. So that is what we did. I gave you the code. You have put time into Kerbal Space Program's DLC Breaking Ground, correct?
Yes, I have.
Okay, great. So before we get into that, Whitty, tell us, what is Kerbal Space Program in general about?
It's in general about it takes a lot of, being smart to get a rocket. I know this sounds not very much of an explanation, but...
Okay, wait. We need a little bit more explanation than be smart, get a rocket. Because although that may work in real life, people listening to the podcast want to know a little bit more information. So generally, what is this game about? You start off as a person who's just like building rockets and space stuff, right?
Yes, you start out as a person who builds rockets, if you're there's multiple modes you can do: science, sandbox, career. I generally play sandbox because I don't want to end up having to do funds.
You don't like to manage the money?
No, I just like to build stuff.
Okay, and in sandbox you can just build, I mean, pretty much anything, right? The game has a bunch of different pieces and components, and you can put them together in any way. Like, you can build whatever robot you can, or not robot, rocket you can imagine, right?
Yes, but you technically can build robots.
Okay, so you've put a lot of time into the original Kerbal, correct? Like, how many hours do you think you've put into it?
Oh, I would say at least 63.
63 hours, and you're 10, so that's basically half your life, right?
Yes, I guess.
All right, so you've got the code for Breaking Ground. What is it that's included in this DLC? What are the new things that it brings?
The new things it brings is stations that you can set up as a Kerbal, which is the aliens that you play as.
Like a station? What kind of a station?
It's a little setup station that you can plant on the ground and you can use. So, say you want to know if an earthquake happens, you could find out on that.
Okay. So, seismic station. Are you talking about, like,
a seismometer. As it's called in that.
I'm not sure seismometer. That's more of a locker room thing. I think maybe seismometer. Is that correct?
Seismometer, yeah, probably.
Okay. And what else is new in this DLC that was not in the original Kerbal Space Program?
You can also get rotators to make helicopters, moving robots like joints, and you can make, in the trailer it shows a crab walker. Now, I have not made that. I have tried, and it does not work very well. But I tried.
Okay, so you got a bunch of new parts, right? Now, I know that there was a million jillion parts in the original Kerbal, but with this new stuff, if what I see is correct, and again, I just have a real basic understanding of this, you get like some joints that can move parts in different ways. Now, in the trailer that we just watched before we recorded this, there was, like you said, a crab walker, a giant, like, I don't know, robot spider vehicle that someone was riding. And so the key part about that is that the joints in the spider legs are the new things, right? To let the parts move in different ways.
Yeah, you could never do that in the enhanced edition, even though that it was enhanced. I have not quite built the crab walker to be correct yet, and it takes a lot of a thing called RCS to get it to move.
What is RCS?
RCS is a type of thrust that you can put on a ship. It's like liquid fuel, except it's not for engines. Well, I guess there is an engine that runs on it, but it's used for, like, maneuvering. Okay,
that sounds a little bit more sciencey than I want to get right now. Is there anything else that's new in the DLC that you know of?
Yes. So, of course, you can make rovers. And on rovers, you can now put on robotic scanning arms.
Okay, so what's the big deal about that?
So, I haven't really tested very much about these things. But basically, there are now moon rocks on the surface and trees now planted around on the planets. So I went to the moon and I scanned one. You get different information by how heavy duty your scanner arm is.
So depending on the type of scanner, you can get more information of the thing that you're scanning, whether that be a space tree or a space rock or something else that you find on in your travels?
Yeah, basically.
What do you do with that information?
You'll need an antenna for this and a lot of battery power, but you can transmit it back to Kerbin, which is like an Earth planet.
It's like the Kerbal's Earth, because this is not set on Earth, right? This is set in a fictional universe.
Yes.
And instead of Earth, you have Kerbin, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So.
You send the data back to Kerbin, and what do they do with it? Just party or what?
No, they research it.
Okay.
I don't think anything actually goes past that. I think you just transmit it and the data's done. In career and science, you can actually go to the science data bank and go and see it.
So if you were playing not sandbox mode, like I know you play mostly in sandbox, but if you were playing career, maybe that data would have a purpose. Like maybe it would help you advance some of your, your tech tree or something like that.
Yeah.
So maybe it would be more meaningful if you played the other modes.
The more tech you get and transmit, or when you pick up the ship, when you recover it, the ship, when it lands on Kerbin, it actually gives you science points in
It's okay. We're a pretty laid back podcast.
In career and the science mode.
Okay.
You can get points that can then level you up in the science tree, so you can get more stuff to advance to farther places.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. Now, so just overall, I know that you're a big time fan of Kerbal. I know you spend a lot of time playing it. You've built a million rockets. You put things in space. And in case we haven't mentioned it so far, like this game really uses I'm not a rocket scientist. I can't vouch for this, but it seems to me to use like real physics.
Real physics and aerodynamics.
Yeah. So that's kind of what makes it so hard for me is I don't know a lot about that, and you got to be really exact. Really get your designs right, and a lot of rockets just blow up and all sorts of things go wrong. So if you can launch a rocket, get in orbit, and come back down, that means you really know your shit, which I don't. So how do you feel about this expansion overall? Are you pretty happy with it? You like it? I mean, what's your thoughts on it in general?
I really like it, but not to trash the game, but those setup platforms on the ground are complete garbage.
You are my son. What setup platforms are you talking about, just real briefly?
Just like the setup platforms that I said that Kerbal's in place.
That's right. Okay, so let me ask you this. So you're talking about a couple days ago, you were asking me about a particular new element. I forget what it's called, but it's like a little science station. You couldn't figure out how it worked. I couldn't figure out how it worked. We went online. I looked at some wikis. I looked at some videos. And I just really didn't know how it worked. So that kind of relates back to, as someone who doesn't know a lot about these systems, the tutorials. I feel like the tutorials could be a little bit better. How do you feel?
I think they could put in a few more tutorials when the new update comes around. But they did not. They put in missions when one of the other updates came in.
Mm-hmm.
But those didn't really help with anything in the breaking ground.
So yeah, it's been a little tough, and I know that probably this game more than others relies on the online community to find answers and to help each other out and maybe go to the developer's website and stuff. That's like a lot of research, and we're not super big on research when it comes to playing video games in this house, so it seems to me like maybe the in-game tutorials could be a little bit better. But other than that, have you been enjoying it?
Yes, I have really been enjoying it.
Excellent. So, as a Kerbal fan of a long time, at least half your life, would you recommend the Breaking Ground DLC to other people who like Kerbal?
Yes, I would definitely recommend this to people who like Kerbal and would want to try Breaking Ground. If you do not know anything about these setups, don't go to the wiki. There's nothing there yet.
Well, yeah, I'm sure there's going to be stuff there later. Maybe we just didn't find it. Who knows? I mean, to be honest, I didn't spend all day looking for the info, but... All right, well, I think we're going to wrap it up on Kerbal Space Program Breaking Ground. Just one last little thing to note is that Kerbal Space Program 2, much anticipated sequel, is coming. Originally, it was going to be first quarter 2020, but we just found out that it's been potentially delayed. Might be coming as late as spring 2021. How do you feel about that?
I'm not too happy about that.
Okay, but you do... So let me ask you, would you rather get a game sooner, but it's kind of buggier and not finished, or would you rather wait and get a finished, more polished game later?
I'd rather get a little buggier when it comes to Kerbal Space Program.
So you'd rather get it sooner but buggier?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind it being buggier. The one I already have is kind of buggy, but...
All right, that's not what I thought you were going to say, but that's a fair answer. Thank you very much for being honest. All right, son, thank you very much for being back on the podcast. It's always a pleasure.
All right, thank you for having me on.
Okay, I'm going to stop the recording, and I'll see you again in 30 seconds.
See you again in 30 seconds.
Say thanks to everybody.
Thanks for listening.
All right, that was my son talking about Kerbal Space Program. Thank you for being on the show again, Whitty, and thank you, folks, for listening. And this brings us to the end of the actual episode. So Carlos and I will be back next week with another one. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. Hopefully you'll come back for more. In the meantime, we would, as always, love your questions or comments. You can hit us up, sovideogamespodcast@gmail.com. Also, you can post for us at gamecritics.com once the show goes up there. You can hit us up on Twitter collectively @SoVideoGames, but a better way is individually. Carlos, where can people find you this week?
This week a little bit different. I'm not finished with the website, but I think I'll tell you now so you can bookmark it. I'm going to be doing a new talk show finally. I've figured out the format, and it's called Comedy Sit Down, where I sit down and talk funny words, and then I have comedians come up with me and sit in a chair, and we say funny words together. So it's comedysitdown.com. The show dates are not in there yet because I'm booking the show. But if you're a funny person and you're in Seattle, notice I didn't say comedian. I hate terminology. If you think you're funny or you've done funny things before, or you do stand-up, hit me up on Twitter, ONAWA, or just go to the website, which is comedysitdown.com.
If you do stand up, come do some sit down.
Yeah, because I'm tired of stand-up. Let's sit down. My legs are tired. I'm old.
Standing up is a lot of work, folks.
I really did it just because my legs are tired. I got like muscle spasms. Come on, we got to sit down.
That is amazing. That is amazing. As for me, same as always, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram. It's my name, BradGallaway, all A's, no O's. And that is it for us. Thank you again for joining us here on So Video Games. We'll be back next week. In the meantime, this is bye from Brad.
Sayonara from Carlos. I mean, I kind of left it like on a way up. I didn't go down with it. I said sayonara from Carlos, and like there's something else after that, but there's not.